Hello friends, welcome once again to Notebook. We start exploring geography with this video and we are happy to have you with us in this journey. So, here's wishing you bon voyage from all of us here at Notebook. We hope you find this journey enriching and fulfilling. So what did you have for lunch? Rice or roti? Some dal maybe? Some vegetables? Oh, and did you read the newspaper today? And how did you travel to school? In a bus? By now you must be wondering, what am I up to? What has all this got to do with a geography lesson on resources? All of these are resources for us. So, what is a resource? Anything in our environment that can be used to service our needs is defined as a resource, provided, however, that it can be accessed economically by using available technology while maintaining our cultural and societal values at the same time. We use technology to interact every day with the resources around us, and this is how economic development takes place. Let us now understand how resources are classified. Resources are primarily classified as natural resources and human resources. Natural resources are further divided into renewable and non-renewable resources. Under renewable resources, we have continuous resources and biological resources, while under non-renewable resources, we have recyclable and non-recyclable resources. Biological resources can be further classified as natural vegetation and wildlife. Human resources, on the other hand, can be further classified as institutions and structure and quantity and quality. Here's a quick look at the different types of resources. On the basis of origin, the different types of resources are biotic and abiotic. Biotic resources are living resources in our biosphere, like plants, animals and humans, while abiotic resources are non-living resources like rocks, minerals and metals. On the basis of ownership, the different types of resources are individual, community-owned, national and international. Individual resources are owned privately by individuals like land, house, farm, pond, well. Community-owned resources are for all members of the community, like parks, playgrounds and markets. All resources within the political boundaries of a country and also within its territorial waters are national resources, like railways, bridges, roads and airports. International resources are those that are regulated and controlled by international agencies and institutions, like oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone. What does territorial waters of a country mean? Territorial waters of a country extend to 12 nautical miles from the coast. And how much is 1 nautical mile? 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.852 kilometers. Let us now go back to the different types of resources, shall we? On the basis of exhaustibility, resources can be divided into renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those that can be reproduced or replenished by using physical, chemical or mechanical processes like solar energy, wind energy and forests. Non-renewable resources, on the other hand, cannot be reproduced or renewed like fossil fuels. Such resources usually take a long time to form, which can be even millions of years. On the basis of development status, resources are categorized as potential resources, developed resources, stocks and reserves. Potential resources are those that are available but have not been utilized so far, like solar energy and wind energy in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Developed resources are those resources whose quality and quantity have been determined. Utilizing such resources depends on economic and technological feasibilities, like natural gas available below the ocean in several places. Stocks are those resources which can be useful but have not been utilized due to lack of technology, like using hydrogen after separating it from water. Reserves can be utilized by the application of existing technology, but the utilization has not been up to the mark so far. Reserves are mostly earmarked for future use, like hydropower. Why is it necessary to plan and develop our resources? Isn't there a huge supply of all resources? The answer, sadly, is no. Resources are not infinite. And that, friends, is the reason that resources need to be planned and developed. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources has caused severe damage. These are depletion of resources, imbalance in the society, dividing it into the rich, who have most of the resources, and the poor, who have very little. Global environmental crises like global warming, pollution, land degradation, and depletion of the ozone layer. The need of the hour is sustainable development, which means that economic development should take place without damaging the environment or without negatively affecting the needs of future generations. It is only when we have sustainable development that it is possible to have sustainable existence. Sustainable existence means a sustained quality of life for all, along with worldwide peace. And to achieve this sustainable existence, we need resource planning. The first Earth Summit aimed at addressing the problems of environmental protection and sustainable development was held in 1992 at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. More than 100 countries participated in this summit, drawing up Agenda 21 that aimed at achieving global sustainable development by arresting environmental damage, poverty, disease, etc. through global cooperation. Why is resource planning important in India? In India, the availability of resources is widely diversified. Hence, resource planning is extremely important. Let us look at a few examples. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand are endowed with coal and minerals, but their economies are not developed enough. Rajasthan is rich in solar and wind energy, but lacks water resources. Arunachal Pradesh has high availability of water resources, but lacks infrastructure. Resources have to be made available to all, and that is what resource planning aims to do. For sustainable development, being rich in resources is not enough. This should be matched by developments in technology, human resources, and institutions. That is when resource planning becomes effective. How is resource planning done in India? What are the steps that should be taken to conserve resources? The process involves identification and inventorying of resources through surveying, mapping, qualitative estimation, and quantitative estimation. Evolving a planning structure to implement the resource development plans backed by appropriate technological skill and institutional framework, and ensuring that the resource development plans are in line with national development plans. The steps for conservation of resources are simple enough. Use only what is necessary. Do not waste. Share with others. Don't be greedy. This is where we end the first part of this chapter, friends. See you in part 2.